Yamaha launched its first 150cc sports bike, the R15 V1, back in 2008. It came with a high-revving 149cc engine, producing a maximum power of 16.8 bhp at 8500 rpm and a maximum torque of 15 Nm at 7500 rpm. Ever since its launch, it has been the most loved sports bike with a balanced level of practicality and performance. We are joined by Santoosh, who has owned the R15 version 1 for almost 8 years. He is an active member of several biking groups and has clocked over 60,000 kilometers. He has taken his bike all over India, which includes destinations like Leh Ladakh, Kanyakumari and Gujarat. Hello Santoosh, it's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Hi Arti, it's a pleasure to be here as well.
So Santoosh, with your long-term ownership experience, how has the R15 treated you?
Arti, I picked this bike up in 2008 and I've completed about 60,000 kilometers now, and the ownership has been flawless. I've really enjoyed my time with this bike, and the reason for me picking this bike was it is a sole primary focus on the track, and this bike was a kind of thing that got back Yamaha on track. They were off track after the end of two strokes with all smaller bikes and things. So this bike, again, when they got it back, it set benchmarks in Indian standards. So in 2008, when bikes were of 150, 180 cc's, and this came out with a 150cc liquid-cooled engine, a delta box frame, a link-type monosuspension, a diacetyl cylinder. So these were things which were unheard of on a small cylinder bike. And the design is inspired from the YZF R1 series. And the bike has been wind tunnel tested. So putting all these together, it makes a brilliant package. So in these 8 years, the experience has been brilliant. It can do track riding, it can do a lot of touring, city riding. So it's an overall a great package to own. But there are also little flaws with it. The primary thing I can think of right now will be the low end torque. Since this is a 4-valve engine, the low end torque on this bike is not really great. So the happy zone for this would be from about 7,000 to 10,000 rpm. That is where there are absolutely no vibrations or so, and it's happy in that. So the low end torque, you need a little effort. So you'd need to change gears too often and keep it in the low RPM band, or a little higher RPM band to enjoy performance. So that's about for the ownership experience.
Alright, so how about the complete feel of the bike, as in terms of handling, braking, stability and comfort?
Yes, Arti, this bike is primarily a track focused tool. So the suspension setup on this is for the track, it's on the harder side. And this coupled with the delta box frame, a link type monosuspension and Nissan calipers and twin discs, this whole setup gives you a really good confidence when you're riding out on the track or on highways or on the city. So the braking is very excellent. It lacks ABS, but it's not a problem. Back then in 2008, the bikes didn't feature ABS. So this still does a very good job at braking. The stability is excellent on track. But when you get onto the highways on a straight line, you might face a little problem because of the weight of the bike. The bike is really light at 120 kilos. So if there is heavy crosswinds, sometimes the bike tends to sway a little. But this is something that is a compromise, that because it's a lightweight bike and has got exceptional handling and it changes directions very easily. And with respect to comfort, this bike is quite comfortable, but it takes a little bit of getting used to, because most of the people or most of the bikes has an upright position. With the upright position, your ergonomics is different. So this has a rear set foot peg, and the handle and the position is a little forward biased. So it takes a little getting used to, maybe 200 to 500 kilometers. But after that, once you you find a comfortable position, it's really good. The only issue, like I did say before, that you can see is maybe the suspension on a single setup, where it may be a little stiff, but that is a compromise that you have to do. So that's about it on this part.
Alright, and how about owning and maintenance of this bike? Is it easy on the pocket?
Yes, Arti. Maintenance on this is quite easy. It does not require any special maintenance. It just requires timely interval of oil change and oil filter. And there's one issue on the maintenance that I've always seen is the clutch bell. From the beginning, there's always been this clutch bell noise that develops after usage or hard riding. So this has been shown to Yamaha service center and they've tried replacing or reset. But even after that, the problem creeps up after a certain time. So it's best to live with it. But it's something that does not affect performance in any way. It's just there will be a little bit of a noise that is very evident. The service cost is about 1,000 to 2,000 rupees based on the kind of things that you change. In general, the disc pads, the front would cost you about 700 rupees and the rear would cost you about 1,200. And they last for a time of about 15 to 20,000 kilometers based on your usage. So if you're a track-oriented person or rides a little hard, because it being a soft compound, they last you about 10,000 maybe. But for the price that you pay and the kind of braking that it gives you, it's really worth it. And yeah, the air filter is about 200-300 rupees, which need to be changed because of the dust. The bike came shod with MRF tires, MRF zappers, which were really sticky. This was something specifically jointly made by Yamaha and MRF. But over time, with a demand that people wanted a larger tire and there was a new version of the bike. So this particular model, the tire size is a little odd tire size. So finding that in a different brand is really difficult. So we'll have to use tires from some other bike, which is a little bit of a compromise, but it does not inspire that much of confidence as what the stock tires would do. But that's something that you have to live with, so that's okay. And the last, let me come to the mileage. This bike is a fuel injected bike, and even with hard riding, it gives you a mileage of about 38 to 42. It's pretty much similar on the city and highways. The reason for about 38 to 42 for a 150cc where other bikes give you about 50 odd is this is a very high revving bike. So the happy zone for this is only in the range of about 7 plus. Since you are revving it a lot higher, the mileage drops to a certain extent, but this is something for the kind of performance that it gives you is really enjoyable. Performance, handling as an overall package, it's a brilliant thing. And maintenance over the last 8 years, I've not had to change too many things. It's only the consumables. And that alone should speak to you about quality that Yamaha makes. So that's the only thing I see.
Alright Santoosh, so do you say that this bike is perfect on its own, or do you have any recommended modifications or changes to make it even better?
Marti, no bike by its own is perfect. So every bike needs a little bit of customization to suit your needs. So by itself for the track, this wouldn't need anything. It's built for the track and Yamaha knows what they've built. But if you're a person who is using this bike in the city and for touring, the first thing that you would need to do is upgrade the headlights. The headlights are not confidence inspiring in the night. The reflectors are really small. So it would be better if you couldn't get, now you find these LED low power bulbs. So you can switch to those because the battery on this bike is a small one. It's about a 3.5 or a 5 amp battery. So that would mean if you just switch the bulbs to a higher wattage and it might drain the battery. So you can switch to LEDs. That will be a good upgrade that you can do. And if somebody is really looking out for performance, a little more than this, then there are accessories available in the market and from Yamaha too. That is, you have a high lift cam available for the bike and there is a free flow exhaust, or you get a bigger disc. So these modifications are primarily for track use, but if anybody wants it, it's available in the market. So these would be good for upgrades.
Alright Santoosh, thank you so much for your valuable inputs.
Thanks Aarti, it's been a pleasure being here and I hope my ownership experience helps prospective buyers.
So guys, that's the Yamaha R15 version 1 for you all. Hope you liked the video. Do share the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.